is now in session.
Good night. Good night.
What's up, everyone? Thank you all for joining me for episode 4 of our Therapy Sessions podcast. I'm so excited for this episode and just excited to see what God is going to do and say with and through each and every one of you. It's not just about me, but what God is going to say through each and every one of you. So if He speaks to you, let me know in the comment section. If you have any comments, commentary, whatever, let me know in the comment section. Let's have some dialogue. But today, I wanted to talk about what's going on right now with this government shutdown and with specifically this food stamp situation. And I was talking to one of my best friends yesterday, and it really came to me, it came to both of us, how we don't realize just how much luxury we have been living in, because people are ready to crash out over losing their food stamps. They're panicking, they get anxiety. Some people may have depression over losing their food stamps, right? And now this isn't going to be for everybody. This is going to be for some, and for who it's for, I want you to listen to this. We have been living in a lot of luxury and don't even realize it. You don't need certain things. A lot of things that have become normal to you are actually wants and are actually luxuries. For example, when you go to the grocery store, you don't need cookies, cakes, pies, chips. You don't need 4 or 5 different types of cheeses. You don't need juice. You don't need 6, 7 types of juice. You don't need steaks. You don't need chicken wings, crab legs, the more expensive cuts of meat, right? You don't have to have all the 75 different varieties of yogurt and stuff like that. You don't have to have that stuff, right? You just, the bare minimum, the bare essentials that you need protein, so that's like meat, or like nuts, seeds, stuff like that, eggs. You need healthy carbs and fats, fruits, veggies, clean water, etc., right? Those are all the basics that you need. So you will get by and be okay if you went to the store, and here's an example. You can get some, in my area, ground turkey is cheaper than ground beef. Then ground chicken is next on the cheapest. So you can get some ground turkey, some ground chicken. You can get some dry beans. You can get like lentils, kidney beans, other dry beans, black eyed peas, lima beans, legumes, different things like that, right? You can get some big bag of white rice or brown rice. You can get 10-pound bag of potatoes is like $5 and some change, right? Depending on where you go. You can get some canned fruit and veggies or some frozen fruit and veggies, right? You can get some seeds, some you can get peanut butter. Big jar of peanut butter is like a ridiculous size jar of peanut butter is like $6, $7, and that's gonna last you a while because you don't need a whole bunch of peanut butter on the sandwich, right? You can get something like that. You don't have to have jelly, but you can get jelly if you want to, if it's a must, but you don't need jelly. And then I got the other month, I actually ended up getting some sunflower seeds. It was a bag of sunflower seed kernels, actually. It was like a big, just industrial size bag for like $2, $3, right? And you good. Now, you may have to make some changes as far as the brands that you use. You may have to, change you may not be able to get the Fiji water. You may have to get the Great Value water. You may have to change the store. You may not be able to go to Publix or the more expensive stores. You may have to go to Walmart or something like that, or your local grocery store. Now, some things might not be good. Like let's say like like the hood grocery stores or something like that. You might not want to get meat from there like that. Or you may need to bargain shop. Look for deals. I know Publix every Tuesday they change up. They'll have like buy one get one free. Um, Items that have like a whole bunch of items for buy one get one free, and you can actually look on Instacart and look at the store, and they update it, and you can see what they have this week for buy one get one free, and it changes like every Tuesday. So you might gotta use deals and stuff like that, but there are things that you can do. You might gotta change brands. You might not be able to get the expensive brand of water, the expensive brand of butter. You might not be able to get Kerrygold. You may not be able to get the expensive milk or whatever. You may have to downgrade and get the store brand, and that's okay because you're making it. Now, me personally, I'm good. If it's real deal survival mode, I'm good off a couple packs of bologna and some bread and some water. You might have to do tap water sometimes. We got access to clean water here in America, depending on where you are, if it's safe in your area to drink. But you may have to make some of these changes, and it's okay. Being a picky eater in reality, unless you have a medical need, being a picky eater is a luxury. If you ain't got it like that, we were hunter and gatherers. It wasn't no, I don't like this, I don't like that. You got to eat what you got to eat, what you can hunt and what you can catch. You got to eat what you got to eat. We don't have the luxury all the time to be picky eaters. Being a picky eater is a luxury. Some of the stuff, the different brands, all the options that we have, those are luxuries. And if you're willing to crash out over wants, what really and truly amounts to wants, that may show you that food is an idol. And even you might have to cut down on portion sizes. This may reveal to you that in reality, you've been eating in excess. You may not be able to have the second portion, the second plate. You more than likely didn't even need two plates to go back for seconds. You may have had to save that for another day, freeze that, put that up for another day. Stuff like that, changes like that. You don't need. Realize what realize what you do and don't need. What is truly a need and what is a want. Because people will blame God. God, why haven't you shown up for me? God, I'm lacking this, I'm lacking that. But yet you still have something to put in your stomach. Unless you get to a point where you don't have nothing to put in your stomach at all whatsoever, you can't go to no food bank, no nothing, then you have nothing to crash out about. You're just uncomfortable right now. You're not really desperate. You're just uncomfortable. But you can make it to the next day. You can make it the rest of the week. You good. Even if you got a pack of noodles. Some noodles, like a 12 pack of noodles is like $3 and some change at Walmart. Get you a couple packs of that. Do what you got to do because it's only for a season. And then in this season, take advantage of these hard times when really it isn't even hard because you're making it. It's just if all that you're worried about is the food stamps, you can, everything else in life is good. Your bills paid. So take advantage of this and learn from it. See what you can adjust. Because if you're triggered that hard to where you're willing to fight, cuss people out, and steal, commit crimes over things that are not necessities, food may be your idol. You may be dealing with idol in food. You may be dealing with gluttony because you might have to cut down on your portion size and save that for another day. But in reality, this should show you what you do and you don't need. And I hope people really take heed to that. No food stamps, no problem. Now, this isn't the case for everybody, but this is the case for many people. And even when it comes to finances, because the shutdown, there's people that's losing jobs, and even the overall job market may be a little interesting, especially with AI right now, right? This should show you in your life how much stuff is a want versus a need. And people get depressed when they can't fulfill their wants, but yet don't realize and aren't appreciative and thanking God for the fact that they have their needs met. They have shelter. They have shoes on their feet. They have something to put in their stomach. They can get from point A to point B, even if it's taking a bus. Sometimes it has to be walking, but you can get there. At least you have the option to get there. There are some people who don't even have the option to get there. There are some people, try as they may, they don't have shelter. They don't have shoes to put on their feet, clothes to put on their back, clean clothes, clean water, different things like that, right? But if you have that, what are you complaining about? God supplies your needs. Your wants is up to you. If you want something else, if you want that vacation, if you want these extra luxury items, then work harder to get them. And if you can't afford them, you will be okay without it. Because for example, if you went from Monday to Sunday without putting on makeup, was it a need? If you were able to live without putting on makeup, was it a need? If you were able to do that without those Nikes, you had to wear the Walmart shoes, was it a need? Are you okay? Are you truly okay? Ask yourself that. Are you truly okay? Now, there may be some things that you may need because of your job. You may need a certain type of shoe, certain type of clothing, material, different things like that. Those then become needs. They're not luxuries. But when we really look at it, what are we crashing out and blaming God for? Learn how to cut your own hair, right? Maybe you have to find another barber that's cheaper. Oh, cheap, people don't like that word. Cheaper is like it's like a cuss word. Maybe you got to find a cheaper barber. Maybe you can't get the super expensive hair care products. Maybe you can't get the super expensive luxury makeup. Now, you need to wash yourself, so you need soap. You need to wash your hair, brush your teeth, different things like that, deodorant. So you need those things. Those are necessities. Don't be out here stinking and musty. But you don't need the mega expensive version of things unless with hygiene you have a medical condition as to where your skin, scalp, can't take certain things and chemicals, maybe in certain stuff, or you may need a certain formula. That's different. That's a need. But if that's not you, you're okay. You're more okay than you realize. And it's okay to want different things. I'm never saying any of this, that it's not okay to want certain things. It is perfectly fine. Want what you want. But if it comes to a point to where you're willing to crash out, you're willing to cuss God out, you're willing to turn away from God, or feel some type of way from God because you don't have your wants, but all of your needs are supplied, then there's a problem. There's an idol. There's some pride. There's some ego. There's some mismanagement of funds. And even with things like this shutdown, right? They can't shut down God. Remember who your source is, even in the midst of your situation. This is something that I had to learn because I've been in situations where I didn't have it. Thank God, God has always taken care of me and made a way. And that taught me how to say, regardless of what's going on, it's going to be okay. It's going to work out. I say that quick. That's my instant response to everything. It's going to work out. It's going to be all right. God's going to make a way because he always has. The fact that we're here today to face this new problem means that we made it past the previous problem. So it's going to be okay for you in your life. So before you crash out, before you steal, before you commit a crime, go to God. Go to God. Pray. Get direction. Exhaust all your resources. You have God. You can ask him. You can ask him for directions. Pray. Ask him for supernatural provision. Ask him to guide you to where you can find it. This is another reason why people may need to go, find a good local church, because sometimes some churches have food pantries, or they help with finances and stuff like that. Help you get some food, help you get some clothes, help you pay bills. Right. So exhaust that. Go to the food pantries in your area, food banks, places that give away food, churches and stuff like that. You may have to go stand in some of these lines, but at least you have the option to do these things. Programs that can help you get your bill paid. You may feel like, oh, it's embarrassing that I got to go down here and people may see me and stuff when I was just up here. Who cares about that? Who cares that, just yesterday you was driving, this, a nice, new car or whatever, but you got laid off from your job against your will, and now you got to go to the food stamp office. Now you got to go to the food pantry. Do what you got to do. Stop worrying about the opinions of people. Do what you got to do, because at least you can make it to the next day, to the next week. At least you have the option. There are some people who don't even have the option to do these things, but at least you have the option. So all of this should show you what to be thankful for and how to be thankful and grateful for the things that you have, because you have the option to do these uncomfortable things. Is one thing if you don't even have the option. But a lot of people, they have the option and they need to be grateful. Be more grateful. Be more thankful. Thank God. You might have to do day labor. If you're looking for work, you might have to do day labor. You might have to do some uncomfortable jobs. If you need it, and especially as a man, talking to my brothers, if you need it, especially if you got a family, but even if you got yourself, you are your family. If it's just you, when you're single, you are your family. So work just as hard for yourself. But you might got to do some uncomfortable jobs. Ain't no such thing as, I don't want that job. No, you have a family, you got responsibilities. Or if you yourself, you have bills to pay. You got to sustain yourself. Do what you got to do. If you got to work at McDonald's, if that's available, if you got to do day labor, if you got to cut grass, get you a lawnmower, cut some grass, whatever, pick up some cans, do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. Me and my best friend were also talking about how you'll see some Spanish man will be in front of Home Depot, every day trying to get work and stuff like that. Why were they the only ones that's doing that? Why haven't you heard about Hakeem, Jamal out there too? Peter, different ethnicities out there doing the same things. That's a hustle. That's money. It's going to add up some kind of way. And take advantage of those opportunities. Let's say you go out to Home Depot, you trying to get it. Somebody might say, hey, I see you trying to, do something, take care of your family. So you trying to work, you could be shingling his roof or something like that, right? That could be a CEO right there. He's like, you know what? You do good work. You do good work. So you consistent, you work hard, you do a good job. I got this company, we need to find, fill this position. Give me your resume and your information. Let me call you up to come down here and, give you an interview, and we can interview for this job. Or there may be people who might not have a opening right now, but see how hard you work and how dedicated you are, and may make a position for you. Take advantage of these opportunities. And when you show up for these things, work that job that is uncomfortable for you like you would if this was your dream job. Work it like it's your dream job. When you get an opportunity, work it like it's your dream opportunity. Every opportunity that you get, work it like it's your dream opportunity. Don't play around with, I don't want to, be cutting grass. I'm going to just be lazy. You never know who's watching you. Work it. Like, this is Elon Musk calling you up saying, hey, I want you to come do this for me. And I'm going to pay you X amount of dollars. Because you never know who's watching. You never know what opportunity is an opportunity. You never know what opportunity is an opportunity. You never know who you're working for or who they know. Even if they themselves aren't someone that has the opportunity, they may be friends or co-workers with someone or have a job or know something or someone that is an opportunity that can put you in a better position. But when you show up, show up. When you show up, show up. Do your best. Pay attention. Dress appropriately. Make sure your hygiene is right. Make sure you look the part. Make sure you look like somebody. Stand out. If it's multiple of y'all, stand out. What can you do to stand out? If everybody else is acting lazy, you're going to be the one that stands out by doing your best at it. By the way that you dress, you could be the one that stands out. Your attitude alone could be something that stands out and sets you apart and gives you the opportunity over somebody else. Your attitude, your willingness to do the work, your respectfulness, your cleanliness, just different things like that. Your facial expressions could set you apart from everybody else. But do the work and do good work. Do the work and do good work when you get these opportunities. This is for my brothers. This is for my sisters too. If this is you and you got these opportunities too, that you can take it and apply it too. But especially for my brothers, my men who are leaders. Because you are a leader as a man. So lead in this. Your family is watching how you navigate hard times. Model it for them in the right way. And if you need somebody to talk to, because I know, leading a family, just trying to figure it out by yourself, I know it gets hard and gets rough. And if you need someone to talk to, if you need a safe space and an outlet, let me know. Book a session, book a one-on-one session. If you need some advice, some godly advice and some wisdom, because there's a lot of bad advice and wisdom out there. Wisdom of the world, advice of the world, guidance of the world. Tell you to lean into your flesh and your human sinful nature. That's going to be episode 2 one day. But there's a lot of that out there. But if you want some good godly advice, biblical advice, rooted in the word, book a session. Or if you just need somebody to talk to, book a session. Book a one-on-one session. My email, my contact is in the comment section down below. In the description down below. Email me, booking, if you have any questions, and let's talk. It's a safe space, a no judgment zone, a judgment-free zone. I never tell or share your information. I never tell to share your information or your secrets, and I never judge you for it. Because why would I judge you when you're trying to get help and you're trying to be better? I respect and honor your vulnerability. So, I just really want you to take a look over your life, evaluate yourself and what's going on. And if you got a family, take some of that pressure off yourself. Still go out there and get it. But take some of that pressure and that weight off yourself, because if your family's needs are met, and then teach them this too. You're okay. You might have to sit your wife down and be like, hey, babe, we ain't got it right now. I would love to do this for you, but I can't right now. What I can do for you, I will. But certain things we got to cut back on for a season. We got to buckle down and do what we got to do for a season. Hey, kids, we got to buckle down for a season. Dad loves you. Mommy loves you. Certain things we got to get, we got to get together. I might not be able to do this for you right now, but we're okay. We good. But some changes got to be made and implemented. Give them an explanation because they're going to be left with questions and they deserve to know. They're trusting you. So talk to them, communicate. Communication helps a lot. So that's what I wanted to give y'all today, man. Like I said, if you got any questions, comments, leave it down in the comment section or down below. And let's talk about it. So that's our session for today. Email me if you need me. Thereapysessions at gmail.com. Thereapy sessions at gmail.com. That's today's video, and we out.
Your therapy session is now complete.
I know life ain't always fair.